a relationship with the owner and founder of RibCrib is what stemmed my move back to Tulsa. You know, I'd voiced to him I was looking to leave, and he just kind of generically said, well, hey, if you want to come back to Tulsa, if you want to come back home, I'll find a spot for you. And you know, it was a risk on his part, and it was a risk on my part to say, all right, let's just kind of see where this goes. But obviously there was excitement in coming back home. There was comfort in knowing what life was like in Tulsa. My wife went to TU, so she knew what life was like in Tulsa. And then, you know, clearly the people at RibCrib, which represent really the people of Oklahoma, just being good people and a great culture, welcoming, warm, you know, everything that's great about Oklahoma. Obviously was attractive in terms of quote unquote coming back home. Yeah.
So come to RibCrib, obviously, you know, based in Tulsa and founded in Tulsa. I guess coming up here with really no idea what you wanted, what they have for you to do, right? You're just kind of like, oh, we'll just figure it out as we go along. I mean, yeah. Well, I guess what year was that, and how long have you been there for?
Yeah, so that was 2017.
Okay.
So I graduated. I came out of grad school in 2014. Spent 3 years with Goldman, and then in 2017 is when I moved back to Tulsa. And I mean, it really was a little bit of an unknown in terms of how I would fit, both for me and for them.
Yeah.
So my first role was with our new concept that opened in 2018, Society Burger, and basically, you know, came in day one and almost on day two they said, hey, we're thinking about doing a burger concept. Why don't you lead this project? And the timing was extremely fortunate for me because, you know, I could kind of step aside from the RibCrib business, which was obviously our core business. I think we started in 1992, so we were in year 25 at that point.
Yeah.
So I lead the project to launch Society Burger and really learn the restaurant business from the ground up in terms of menu development, real estate, design, you know, everything that goes into starting a restaurant. I was able to touch and feel. And then once we got Society opened, I was named VP of Strategy for the RibCrib side for the whole company, and spent some time kind of rethinking how we approach marketing, how we approach operations. And then fast forward another year, in May of 2019, Brett, our chairman and founder, named me president of the company. We've since opened a second society, so we are a multi-unit, multi-concept company, and changed our name to Chandler Hospitality Group. Brett Chandler, our founder, named after him. So.
Yeah,
that's the short version. But
and not been in the restaurant industry before this.
Never have. No, no. It was you know, I tell people, you know, the restaurant business is very complex, but at the same time, it's something we all understand because as diners, we know what restaurants are trying to accomplish, right? I mean, that's not to say, you know, it's certainly a complex business and there's a lot that goes into it, but it's not a chemical engineering, widget making company where you need kind of a very technical skill. You know, there's a lot of creative, there's a lot of thought that goes into restaurants, but ultimately you're trying to create an experience for a diner that makes them want to come back. And it's kind of that simple. And so understanding that, even though I didn't have prior restaurant experience, you know, I certainly had a grasp for what we were trying to accomplish as a company.
Doubt. Yeah. And with your travels, right, in all the different cities you've been to, no doubt you've been into certain concepts that you think, oh, I don't like that, but I love this. Let's bring in a little bit of this, and you pull from those experiences to think, hang on, how can we create, you know, a great diner experience and with great food, and you build that concept, right? That's the great thing about travel.
Yeah, exactly. And so when they say, hey, we want to start a new burger joint, obviously my head goes to, oh, I've been to, you know, 5 great burger joints. What can we draw from those that I think guests in Tulsa would like? And then obviously we built Society around that idea.
Yeah. That must be so much fun. I mean, it's so different, right? And I'm sure every day was different with coming from Goldman and just that journey that you've had. You know, you're doing all that kind of stuff at Goldman, and then you come to a restaurant industry and like, oh, now I'm building something for like the user experience that I want, right? That I think, and others, you know, you've been a consumer of this for so long. You've always gone to restaurants growing up. Like, oh, now I get to develop something. It's more freeing, and like you probably kind of have a lot more creativity on your side rather than what you were doing at Goldman.
Yeah, exactly. I would describe it as fun. You know, there wasn't a lot that was fun at Goldman. I think it's finance is certainly a necessary evil in a lot of ways, but I wouldn't use the word fun to describe it. Whereas, creating concepts and opening restaurants, coming up with menu changes at RibCrib, coming up with limited time offers, LTOs at RibCrib, doing the R&D, trying things in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I say that and it's like, well, that'd be fun. It's like, it is fun.
And then you go and do it and you try it and you figure out, okay, if it works, great. If it doesn't, then we'll try something else.
Yeah,
there's no, I guess the margins aren't massive for error when you're just trying a few things at one location.
Yeah, exactly. And I was fortunate to walk into a very stable company, built on nearly 60 restaurants. So, when we try something new, the risk is certainly there, but we also have a stable brain behind us that we're able to take those risks. But and I think the culmination is the payoff, so to speak, is creating something and then going to a restaurant and seeing people enjoy it, whether that be at Society or at RibCrib. It's just really cool seeing people enjoy something that you can all the time, thought, and effort that's gone into it. Behind the scenes, and then seeing the payoff of actually the community or the customer really enjoying the experience.